what Randy Orton's never given enough credit for, the evolution of Randy Orton's character. I mean, he came in, he really didn't know that much about the business. He knew his father had a reputation. He was a second or third generation wrestler, and he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders, not knowing really a whole lot about the business. But he's someone who really learned his craft, and I think he's never given enough credit for that. Now, I will be honest with you, I was never the biggest Randy Orton fan. That's one thing that obviously stood out about me over the years. I was never the biggest Randy Orton fan and or supporter, and who could blame me for the way of Randy Orton's actions over the last number of years. So I wouldn't really, care if Randy Orton went away with an injury or some kind of circumstance. Reading about a Randy Orton suspension, I was kind of actually happy because something different was going to happen in the storylines, because I think we heard way too much about John Cena and Randy Orton from 2002 to 2005, at least when they were really upstart talents in WWE. I thought the spotlight could have been on someone just as much as it was a Randy Orton. So because of his injuries, I looked at it as a phenomenal opportunity. I sat there when writing columns and different things, when I had to put stuff up on websites, and I said, this is an opportunity, and this is the way it should be looked at for people who are not given enough time in that spotlight. And I think that Randy Orton's injuries and suspensions were things of significance and really milestones to be reached in the wrestling business. It provided opportunities for people like Evan Bourne. It provided opportunities for people that you didn't really see enough of in the wrestling business. His program with Evan Bourne, it was an incredible way of putting over people of the new talent from that generation. And I think that the same thing can be looked at in the way of this generation of wrestlers, in the way of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. With Randy Orton out there to work with them, it provides them with more of an opportunity to get the spotlight put on them. But if Randy Orton were to come back, hopefully they're going to use his character to elevate people like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as they're given opportunities to create with Randy Orton, which they've never had before because of Randy Orton's absence, which obviously is very apparent. And I can't blame wrestling fans for not going on without noticing the absence of Randy Orton, because Randy Orton, like him or not, is popular. I never really was the biggest Randy Orton fan. I often found more time in criticizing Randy Orton than putting him over, so this is a extreme rarity, as it's been for years with me with John Cena. The same thing can be said and applies to me when it comes to Randy Orton. I've never really given Randy Orton enough credit, but I will have this time be a time where I will credit Randy Orton more than what I have in the past, and hopefully this will make up for the number of years that I've criticized Randy Orton. I know it won't go as long of a way as I hope to give Randy Orton credit and make up for the years that I've been criticizing Orton. But the thing is, Randy Orton did not impress me as much as other wrestlers did when he first came into the business. I got my first look at Randy Orton and John Cena on the same night in July of 2002 at a couple of live house shows, and I wasn't impressed then by them, and years later I'm still not impressed by people like Randy Orton and John Cena. I'm more impressed than what I was 5 or 6 years ago. Don't take anything out of context that I've said about Orton and Cena over these last few years. It's just I think they could impress me more than what they are, because it's the same inadequate concept often reiterated with people like Randy Orton and John Cena, and we've seen enough of it. I want to see different talents. I want to see different matches. I want to see different storylines, and we can't have that when people like Randy Orton and John Cena are always consistently the name of the face of WWE, and if not the name of the face of the company, they're always in our face promoting something ridiculous or having these ridiculous promos and segments. I mean, nobody really cares about Cena feuding with Rusev for the U.S. Championship. They want to see Cena, if he's going to win a 16th title, win it by at least now, and win it from a name like a Sting or an Undertaker, not have these ridiculous matches with John Cena and Sami Zayn, or have these ridiculous matches with John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. The same thing about Randy Orton. I mean, Randy Orton is just as close to John Cena becoming a 16-time champion. Why not have emphasis on that? The thing is, we've seen history with Randy Orton and John Cena do the same thing it did with Triple H from back in the day. Remember when Triple H was always winning the championships and always putting himself in the main events? Well, the same thing happened with Cena and Orton in a different generation, in a different time frame. And it could be happening now. And it's ridiculous, how much Randy Orton and John Cena were overkilled. But I think that, in light of these absences of people like John Cena and Randy Orton, at least more opportunities were given. If one good thing emerged from the absence of Cena and Orton in recent months, it was more of an opportunity was given, especially in the fall of the WrestleMania, to more stars on NXT, and it opened up more doors for people on NXT. If this didn't happen to John Cena and Randy Orton, and they weren't faced with these circumstances, these doors probably wouldn't open for both male and female rosters from NXT, and wrestlers who were waiting for years to come to WWE and be given a phenomenal opportunity. At least that opportunity finally came. Yeah, it may have came at the expense of injuries or mishaps in the lives of Randy Orton and John Cena, and probably even Batista, but the thing is, these opportunities finally came knocking, and these wrestlers, the good thing about it, realized this opportunity probably wouldn't have came knocking if Cena and Orton didn't go down with major injuries, so they took full advantage of these opportunities, and that's why we're seeing matches like Roman Reigns and AJ Styles go full throttle in the WWE, and returns of Seth Rollins happening when we least expected. I mean, who out there expected Seth Rollins to return in the way that he did? The last time he headlined WrestleMania was WrestleMania 31 against Randy Orton, so Randy Orton being there probably does have its benefits, because you can have Randy Orton in matches with Kevin Owens and people like Seth Rollins, but the thing is, you don't really have to have the emphasis be on Randy Orton returning. What you have the emphasis on is who's Randy Orton working against and who's going to be pushed because of working with Randy Orton, not the emphasis on Randy Orton and Randy Orton's dominance, because we've seen that way too much, again, often reiterated, and I hate that about how they often reiterate the same 4 or 5 wrestlers and the same 4 or 5 challengers and championship programs, and just storylines that sometimes have no significance whatsoever and amount to nothing really with the pushes or the direction of WWE in its entirety. So hopefully, with Randy Orton being gone for a little while longer, more people will take advantage of it in the same way that people like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Apollo Crews, the Vaudevillains have all taken advantage of it. Even Charlotte, when you're talking about a diva or a woman now, they don't want to be called divas anymore, so you got to get used to calling them women now. But at least now people should take advantage of people like Randy Orton being gone. I know there has been a lot of issues, raised about Randy Orton over the last number of years. We can draw our own conclusions as to why this happened for Randy Orton. You can say this is bogus information about a collarbone injury if you want to, but apparently there is some confirmation on this. We can confirm for you it has something to do with the injury of Randy Orton, regardless of what the injury is and or the circumstances of surgery. Randy Orton's been gone for a very long time, ever since the lateral part of 2015. If there is a time for him to return, it is now. Hopefully by SummerSlam we'll get that return in. That's my prediction, because SummerSlam, obviously now with the expansion of 4 hours, is expected to be just as big as WrestleMania. Probably not as big as WrestleMania, but just as big as WrestleMania, because of the 4th hour being added in, and possibly a 4th hour up and coming for Survivor Series, because it's the second oldest tradition to WrestleMania over the years of WWE. So hopefully, with the 4th hour being added into events like SummerSlam and Survivor Series, we will see people like Randy Orton and John Cena returning and putting off greater matches than they ever have in the past of their careers. Both of them have contributed 15 years, a total of 30 between the two. So you would expect them to have at least a couple of more matches in them, a few more years, 3 or 5, between 3 and 5 if anything. I don't think we've seen the last of Randy Orton and John Cena, and we shouldn't count them out just yet. And if anything, we're probably going to be seeing a return of both of them full throttle by SummerSlam. I know Cena's going to get back in the ring before SummerSlam, but a full throttle return, you can expect that to happen for both Cena and Orton at least by SummerSlam 2016. Looking forward to finding out what the future has in store for Randy Orton. I will throw this video up on my YouTube channel. I'll tweet it out for you on Twitter. Post it on Google Plus, and post it up there on Facebook, and in the radio form of my website is where you can download the audio file. If you have a thought, get in on the conversation, comment on it. And by the way, guys, smash that like button for me. Send me a friend's request throughout social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's greatly appreciated. Get in on the conversation and share my content. I can't thank you enough for having done that. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, and I will talk to you again next week. Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up champagne. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. It's my house.
Don't go anywhere. HEW Entertainment Radio will return with the latest news, music, interviews, discussion, and Jonathan Clarke next.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniel's rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey, you right there, the one listening to this show.